Hey everybody, welcome to the channel. Welcome to my first movie review. This is going to be for Evil Dead Rise. I caught this last night at the opening showing and had a blast with it. It fits very well with the rest of the Evil Dead films. Once again, this is my first review. It's my first real video other than a game video that's going on the channel. So if I have any hiccups here or there, I say too many times or anything like that, give me a little bit of a break. I'm getting used to this. Things will get better. I promise. The film, let's get back to that. The film was written and directed by Lee Cronin. It was produced by Sam Raimi and Bruce Campbell, the two men who created the Evil Dead universe and kept it alive for so long. It was distributed by New Line Cinema, which I was really happy to see. New Line made some of my favorite movies back in the 80s. Everybody that knows me knows that I'm a huge Nightmare on Elm Street fan. So it was really nice. It was nice seeing that. The film was originally meant to go directly to HBO Max. I'm glad it didn't. And after test screenings, where it surprised, to the studio's surprise, tested very well, they changed their mind and decided to do a theatrical release. And I'm very thankful they did, because this one deserves it. It probably could have been a better time of year, though. I'm glad we got it now, as soon as I got to see it, but I don't know about the timing. Just thought about that. Anyway, plot of the movie. It follows a mother, her sister, and her children. As with all these movies, somebody finds the book. Somebody finds some recordings. This, that, and the other happens, and everything goes to hell. If you've seen, it follows a very simple formula, and that's one of my middle of the road kind of aspects of the movie, because it does follow the Evil Dead formula. There's not a lot that they do to break that up, but hey, if it ain't broke, don't fix it, right? The positives for the movie, by far, number one for me were the three main characters. Beth, who is essentially the Ash of this movie, played by Lily Sullivan. And then you have Ellie, the mom, the main deadite, played by Alyssa Sutherland. And the youngest of the kids, the little girl, Cassie, played by Nell Fisher. All three of them, fantastic performances in their roles, with the absolute standout being Alyssa Sutherland. Her performance as Ellie and the main deadite was phenomenal. The way they fit this one into the overall Evil Dead franchise was very, very well done, very interesting. The book looks different, and anybody who's seen any of the previous movies, they'll see it and they'll go, but it's explained very well, and it actually opens things up for future movies. There were a lot of nods to the original films, whether it's through use of camera or dialogue, things of that nature. The best way to look at it is to look at the 2013 remake is actually what I would consider the basis for this movie. Very similar use of camera, very similar tone, very similar lighting, things, just overall. However, this one I do feel, it's going to sound weird saying it about an Evil Dead movie, but this one I feel is a little more lighthearted. More humor in this one, for sure, in my opinion. Which, this entire thing is my opinion. If you disagree, that's great. If you agree, that's great. Either way, let me know. Another positive about this movie, getting off on a little tangent there, was the runtime. Hour and 36 minutes goes by so smooth. It just goes and goes and goes and goes. And then you're done, and you've gone on one hell of a ride. The middle of the road things for me, there are side characters. It's not just the family with the mom and the sister and the 3 kids and stuff like that. There are a few side characters in the apartment. I think there's a total of 4, if I'm remembering correctly. They weren't fleshed out enough to me to really matter. It felt like they were thrown in to pad a body count, which these movies need a body count. They really do. You know what you're getting into going into these, and there were just some characters that were just there to die. Which leads to some of the more humorous shots in the movie. There's one in particular looking through the door peephole that gets pretty comical. It's got its scares to it. There's segments with that peephole that have its scares to it, but there's some funny moments as well. Another kind of middle of the road, which I believe I've already said this. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. It's the Evil Dead formula. This movie does the formula just as well as all the rest of them. The only things negative, I would say, which there are 2, and I've actually heard people praise one of them, which that's great. If you love it, that's cool. I understand. I get it. It's just not for me. And that was the cold open and the epilogue. At the very beginning of the movie and the very end of the movie. The opening in particular does some really cool stuff. Now, I will say that there's an homage to the original films in it that I loved. There are a couple of really cool effect shots. One in particular with a thing, not so much here or here, but here. A little movie nod. The title card drop. One of the best in the series. One of the best title card drops I've seen in forever. Probably, if I had to really think about it, if I was put in on spot right now and told to compare it, no thinking about it or anything, told to compare it with, or make it seem which one is good also, I guess I'd say, the 2009 Friday remake title card. Those 2 right there are neck and neck with each other. I love the 2009 Friday remake title card drop, and I really like this one too. However, the cold open and the epilogue are in my negatives for the movie because they feel detached. While all that stuff was really cool to see, they don't feel like... And the end was trying to loop it back around to make it fit, but I feel like we could have expanded on the main story with the family in the apartment and the city and all that kind of stuff if we would have just had a cold open take place there and an epilogue that took place there. And maybe the title card could have been used with the city skyline or something like that. Just little things. Nothing to really take away from my enjoyment of the film, by no means. Believe it or not, my biggest gripe with it is the trailer. I think the trailer showed way too much. Not to say you're not going to get expanded gore in the movie when you see it. I personally love gore. I'm a gore hound. You see way too much in the trailer, in my opinion. A lot of the really good effect shots. We see the cheese grater. You see the tattoo gun. You see the stuff sticking through the skin from the inside. You don't really see what that is until you see the movie, but you still see it. A lot of the effects up until the end of the movie are shown in the trailer. Now, there is one really cool thing they do at the end of the movie that we haven't seen in an Evil Dead before that I can remember. that's really cool. Whew. I'll save all that. If y'all want me to do a spoiler review and talk details, let me know. But yeah, that's Evil Dead, man. Evil Dead Rise. Out of 10 on a scale, I give it an 8. There's no way it's dropping below that. The only thing I can see it doing possibly is Rise after I take a little time and think more about it. I'm definitely going to see it again. Definitely want to see it again. And we'll see where we go from there. But I will think about where I would put it in a ranking as far as the other films in the franchise. I really need to sit down and rank the Evil Deads. If y'all want to see a video on that, let me know. But I appreciate you watching this. If you don't mind, sub to the channel for one. Like the video, share it, comment, all that good stuff. Help me out with this whole YouTube algorithm. But I will talk about any movies, games, anything like that. If you want to know my opinion on them, let me know in the comments. And I'll catch y'all in the next one.